look at tonight's money moves brought to you by Chime. Andrew Wiggins, he put Luka Doncic into the history books with his monster slam, and he also had a playoff career high 27 points in the game as the Warriors put the Mavericks on the brink of elimination. So the Warriors, they've had a number of different players step up this series, but for the first year, there is going to be a Western Conference and Eastern Conference Finals MVP, Mr. Wilbon. It is named after your friend Magic Johnson. Who do you believe should win the inaugural Magic Johnson Trophy in the West?
Well, right now, there's not much suspense in this. I mean, we're talking about Steph Curry right now. I mean, could something happen in Game 4? Could somebody have an all-time game, some enormous triple-double or some shot at the ball? I guess so. But if I'm voting right now, if I had one, Jalen, Stephen A., it's got to go to Steph Curry at this point.
We're not going to do the Andre Iguodala winning Finals MVP thing right now.
That's right.
It's Steph Curry. And by the way, while we're celebrating Wiggins, I want everybody to know that he is not slowing down Luka Doncic because he's only had 40 in the previous game. The answer to this question is the guy to make the Warriors go, Steph Curry.
Without question, it's Steph Curry, the greatest shooter God has ever created. It's really that simple. The brother is showing up in the postseason. He's been much maligned about his postseason play because he's never won the MVP of the finals, anything like that. I will remind everybody, Steph Curry's career averages in a postseason is like 26, 6, and 5. I mean, we act like the brother fell off the map and suddenly played like a scrub. No, he's Steph Curry, okay? And he's reminding everybody who he is and showing us what he's capable of. Now, again, Dallas doesn't pose the same challenges as a Miami or a Boston will. But Memphis was a challenge. Steph showed up then, and I think he would show up in the finals as well.
I have to ask you guys this, Wilbon in particular. Like, Steph Curry, usually for a superstar, he doesn't do two things. He doesn't take the oxygen out of the room. He makes it about the other 14 guys, and he doesn't dominate the ball. Usually your best player dominates the ball. He moves and cuts without the ball. Do you recall a player of his magnitude being so low maintenance?
Probably not a great player, a truly great player like the players we saw on that screen just now. Probably not. And I was just trying, Jalen, as you said that, I was trying to think, okay, who else can do both those things and be so team-oriented? And that's the reason, that's the secret sauce for the Golden State Warriors and the 3 championships they won, the 2 times they got the finals and didn't win, is that thing that Steph Curry can be both beloved in that locker room and on the court, do what it is he has to do, but not too much.
Correct. Right. Like
not
a Tim Duncan almost.
He's one of the most selfless superstars this game has ever seen. Okay. A testament to that was when Kevin Durant arrived, and he had no problem deferring to some degree to one of the greatest players because Kevin Durant clearly was better than him. Having said all of that, you got to give some love to Steve Kerr, who has proven to be one of the great coaches this game has ever seen. And no knock to Mike Brown. Very happy he got the Sacramento job. Closed out the series in Game 6 against Memphis. But Games 4 and 5, we saw how Golden State struggled without Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr is something special, and we got to give props to him. We can't ignore that.
But usually as an organization, kind of like the Celtics when they lost Kyrie, they're still at this point. When you normally lose a guy like KD, you're in the lottery, especially when Clay misses back-to-back seasons, right? So they did that, and they rebounded from within, built their roster. Jordan Poole stepped up and emerged. Gary Payton II emerged.
Is up 3-0 on the Mavericks. With more on the Western Conference Finals, we send it out to Malika and the NBA Countdown crew.
Thanks so much, Elle. So we are in Boston ahead of Game 4, but you said it. Let's get over to the Western Conference Series. I am with Stephen A. Smith, Jalen Rose, and Mike Wilbon. So we all know Steph Curry, when he's cooking, the Warriors, they cannot be stopped. But my question to you all, starting with you, Stephen A., is outside of Steph, who is the most important Warrior to close this out?
For me, it's always Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is one of the greatest shooters, as far as I'm concerned, top 3 shooters in the history of basketball. And when this dude explodes, it galvanizes everybody in a way only Steph Curry can galvanize them. I've seen Jordan Poole go off and not galvanize the folks the way Klay Thompson does. I've seen others go off, even Wiggins with the game he had last night, albeit on the road. But Klay is the one guy that has the ability to galvanize the troops and excite everyone and elevate everyone's play because of his excellence, close to the way that Steph Curry does for that particular team. If Klay Thompson gets going, when he gets going, he doesn't just produce, he explodes. There's a difference, and that's why he's my guy.
Michael Wilbon.
Draymond Green. It's the defense, which is obvious. It's the screen setting. It's the playmaking. I mean, he's got his fingerprints on every aspect of what it is they do. And Klay silently can galvanize. Stephen A. is very right about that. Draymond's going to get vocal. I mean, we know that. But if you notice the way the teammates respond to it, somebody will ask in a press conference setting after the game, Steph Curry or Steve Kerr, they're not upset with him getting one technical or him jumping on somebody or him making his point. Draymond is going to demand, and I think the one great thing, the thread that runs through any great team, whether that team's in Boston or Chicago or San Antonio or Detroit over the years, is somebody has to make demands. And that person on the court, in the locker room, on the off day, no matter what the situation is Draymond Green. And I think that can't be quantified, so people tend to overlook it, but he has that impact.
So when you're so very dominant, you up 3-0, it's only right that we all take a different player. So in this case, by the way, I could take Steve Kerr, who's not playing. He's been terrific.
Very true.
But I'll take Andrew Wiggins because as the Splash Brothers return, as Draymond Green gets back in the lineup, what people forget is Andrew Wiggins was the one starting in this year's All-Star game. And after the All-Star game, he was terrible, Malika. Like the couple of months right after the All-Star game, it was almost like he should not have been an All-Star. His confidence was shot. He was missing free throws. He couldn't make threes, all of that. Now, this is a new player for them. This is Maple Jordan. This is the guy that went #1 overall in the draft right there.
Well, and he certainly looked like it when he had that dunk last night. Continuing with the theme of a different person for all of us, I'm going to say, what about Kevon Looney? When he is the primary defender, 30%. That's what the Mavs are shooting against him. Not to mention in the last closeout game, he had 22 rebounds. If they can get that version of Kevon Looney, it might be lights out for the Mavs.
Only big.
I get what y'all are saying. Here's my retort. Who outside of Luka, particularly on the interior, do you have to concern yourself with the Dallas Mavericks?
Fair.
That's really the problem. Come to me when he's going against Boston and Miami. Might be
Kendrick Perkins joining us now on SportsCenter. He is in Boston. We're going to get to that game tonight, but I want to talk about what we saw last night. What has impressed you most about the way the Warriors have taken this commanding 3-0 series lead?
Well, I tell you what, Dale, look, I give up, okay? When it comes down to Steph Curry, the light-skinned brother with the green eyes, I finally bow down to him, okay? He is him. And right now, he's on the mission. I'm seeing a Steph Curry right now that I haven't seen since the first time they was actually trying to win a title. He's playing like he's trying to go win a title. He's playing like he's trying to go win a Finals MVP. And I think Steph Curry is imagining right now and focus on that, hey, I can actually add to my legacy. And then on the flip side of things, I'm looking at a guy that was a former #1 pick in Andrew Wiggins that has embraced the culture of the Golden State Warriors. When you watch him, he has become one of the best two-way players in the game today in the postseason. He's playing with a sense of urgency. He's playing with no pressure. And right now, when you look at the wing players that they have, from Harrison, Harrison Barnes, Kevin Durant, and Andrew Wiggins, he's actually filling that void that KD left, and he's been highly successful at it.
He is the poster child for the right system fit, right? And the kind of resurgence you could have. 27 points in Game 3, most in 19 career playoff games. Okay, so as